We're here. We made it to the vaccine clinic. We're going to put on our masks and get in line. Here we go. There's already a line, even though Alan has the 9 o'clock appointment.
A bunch of those pesky seniors hanging out there by the front door.
And it stopped raining, so that's nice. Here we go. Are you ready? Hi everyone, and welcome back to Age Gap Love Story. I'm Carrie.
I'm Alan.
And we are a married couple with a 32-and-a-half-year age difference. And today we thought we would do kind of a special, almost like vlog style. We'll see how it goes. But we're doing the introduction now, and the big theme you probably saw from the thumbnail and the title is that Alan is getting vaccinated tomorrow with the COVID vaccine. And so we thought we would take you along with us tomorrow. And then today we thought we would maybe go through about what it was like to get the appointment, and then maybe some of the fears about getting the vaccine or concerns, and then maybe some more exciting things like what our plans are after vaccination. And just to be clear, Alan is getting vaccinated tomorrow because he is 75 or older, and I am not getting vaccinated. I fall into a much different category. I will probably be 2 categories from now, or 2 tiers, at least the way the California system is running. I am at higher risk because I have autoimmune disease, but I'm not in like the super high risk category. So I have no idea when I'll be able to get vaccinated. And the vaccine that Alan's getting tomorrow is through our public health department. And interestingly, one of the places where we have some doctors, which is like a private medical clinic, I got an email from the CEO today, and he said that they are vaccinating people, their patients 75 and over, and they don't have appointments until the summertime. And we're recording this at the very end of January. So it just goes to show you, I'm sure wherever you are, it's also difficult to get a vaccine. But for us, it was much easier going through the health department, at least for Alan. I don't know what it will be like for me. So
I'm special.
So I'll just run through really quickly about how we were able to get an appointment for Alan. And what we did was sign up for the email newsletter for our local county public health department, and then they had a first come first serve as long as you meet the criteria. So like for Alan being 75 and over, I checked as soon as the appointments were available, and we are on week 2 of this category of people being able to get vaccinated. So last week I checked right at 9 a.m. when they opened the vaccination appointments, and I was able to get one for the end of the week, which is tomorrow. Right after that, the system crashed. I was worried that the appointment didn't even get logged, but I did get a confirming email. And then we had this big rainstorm come into California, so they ended up postponing the clinic for yesterday and today. But as far as we know, this vaccination schedule is still on track for tomorrow, Friday, although they did have to move locations because their public health building got flooded or something like that. So it's been a whole big adventure. We also don't know whether Alan's going to get the Pfizer vaccine or the Moderna vaccine. I guess they're doing both, so we're just going to take whatever he can get, because from the research that I did, from the first vaccination, after 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, you end up getting about 50% protection against the virus. And then after your second dose, you end up getting about 95% protection. And then I guess there may be a booster. So we'll see. It's just a big whole adventure. Alan's kind of at the forefront of all of this. And I don't know, what kind of fears do you have? I know you've been a little bit nervous, and you didn't want to be first in line. So you're not going to be first in line because tens of thousands of people have already been vaccinated. But do you still have some fears about it?
No.
You just don't want to get a shot.
Well, it isn't so much getting a shot. When I was in the Navy, I got so many shots, I felt like a pincushion. So it isn't getting a shot. That doesn't really bother me. And I don't have as great a level of concern as I did initially, because there was some uncertainty about reactions and whether it was really effective, and what if you were taking the particular variety that needed to be refrigerated at the ultra low temperatures, and if there was a gap in the temperature maintenance during transport, was it still effective, and would you really know? Anyway, but they seem to have ironed most of that out. As Carrie explained, obviously they haven't ironed out how they're going to get enough doses to enough people in an orderly fashion quickly. So, as I'm sure you've all read on the news, that is the big issue. So I appreciate very much Carrie's efforts to get an appointment for me, and we're looking forward to getting that behind us. However, because of our age gap, I will have been vaccinated well before Carrie can be vaccinated. So only one of us will be protected, which means that we're not going to be able to change our lockdown routine tremendously. In fact, probably not at all, because if you're vaccinated, as I understand it, you can still, in fact, carry the virus and infect others. And that would give me the risk of infecting Carrie if I became more exposed to the general population. So we're not going to be able to travel or do the things we did before still. And even after you're vaccinated, even with the first and the second, with the booster, from what I've been reading just in the news this morning, which is late January 2021, that you still need to be cautious because you're not 100% assured of avoiding the virus. You still have a 5 to 10% chance of getting it. And again, you can still be a carrier. So it's not a perfect world, but it's definitely a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think also the good news is that once Alan is vaccinated, if he does get the virus, I think the studies are showing that you may not get it as severely, and so that is a huge relief. Just because, I think we mentioned this before, Alan was a smoker when he was younger.
Carrie wasn't a smoker.
So his lungs aren't perfect, and
but
so,
the rest of me is.
Right, so it'll just be better. I will feel a lot better knowing that Alan's vaccinated. Of course, I don't want to get the virus, so we are going to really continue everything the same, which is we have not made any appointments. We don't go grocery shopping. We do our grocery pickup. We're not going out. We're not traveling. I mean, we're not seeing anybody. I don't think we've actually seen another person, for months.
We just might not get out of bed ever.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, we're making the best of it as well as we can, like I'm sure you are. But we are being ultra careful, and we will continue to be, because I really don't want to get sick either.
Right. And I would hasten to add that both of us do appreciate that there are a lot of people that do not have the luxury that we do of staying at home. They have to work. They have childcare issues. They have relatives they have to look for. They have economic hardship. They're out of work. So I do appreciate, as well as Carrie, that we are still, although in a lockdown sort of environment, that we're doing fine. And we don't want to complain about that because, again, there's so many other people that are having terrible issues, and we do feel for them and wish them well and hope everybody recovers emotionally, financially, and from a health standpoint.
Yes.
And we're all going to get through this. It's just a question of getting through the pain now and getting to the other side.
Yeah, but I think also we feel good in the sense that since we are able to stay home, at least we're doing what we're supposed to do, and we're not being part of the problem, so to speak. I mean, I'm not to name names, but someone close to me, she's antsy. She wants to travel, and she is going out and doing things where, in a way, thankfully she hasn't gotten sick. But if she becomes sick, then she, in a sense, is part of the problem because she's spreading it when she could be at home, but she just doesn't want to be because she doesn't like it. So at least I feel like we're doing our part and we're not spreading it. So if you're in that situation, I think you can feel good that you're, I guess, doing the right thing as much as you can.
Right. We both have learned over the years that the only person that you have control over, and there's a question about the degree of control, is yourself. You can't control other people. So we do know, as Carrie said, in fact, many other people that are not as careful as we are. And I think we're probably at the outer edge of extreme as far as being very careful. And for whatever reason, whether it's just, as Carrie said about this one individual being antsy, other people feel it's an imposition on their personal freedom, other people don't believe in the virus, and we're not here to comment on that. Everybody has to make their own decision about a lot of issues in life. So we're not here to criticize or condemn anybody, but we're just telling you how we feel and what we do and what we think is best for us. And we hope you all do what you think is best for you, consistent with what's real in the real world today. So again, we hope all of you recover, that you don't get ill, or recover if you have had the virus, that you recover financially, emotionally. These are really difficult times, and we understand that, and we hope in some small way that we've been able to bring comfort to some of you.
Yeah, and sharing our experience. So anyways, I think we'll wrap up this intro. I'm going to move to the footage, hopefully, of us going to the, I guess we're going to be going to a community college. It's about 20 miles north of us, so we'll have a little bit of a drive in the morning. Alan's appointment is at 9 a.m., so it's the first of the day, so we're probably going to leave around 8:15, maybe just to make sure we get there on time, get there a little bit early. We, of course, will be wearing our mask, and we're going to have to bundle up. I don't even know if it's outside or inside. Hopefully it won't be raining. It might be a little bit of rain here and there. And then, so we'll do some footage of Alan getting the vaccine as much as I'm allowed to shoot. And then we will follow up at the end, and we'll see how Alan's doing. I'm sure he's going to be fine.
Yes, we'll try not to show too much blood.
Yeah, no blood, and not too much whining from Alan.
Going back to the issues that I was concerned about, and I think to add something to that, now that I think about it a little bit more, I think my concern previously in being hesitant about getting vaccinated and at this moment through tomorrow is just being around other people. Because my concern is that somebody might be there and just get all over me. So anyway, the bottom line is that's still my only concern. But when I go out, Carrie and I both wear face masks, and I have one of these plastic shields that is a little awkward, but I do see a lot of people, especially healthcare providers, that are wearing those plastic shields now, kind of like somebody who works in an industrial environment would wear, or a professional healthcare environment. So if somebody does sneeze on you,
well, that's true though, because the person who gives you the shot is going to have to get close enough to get in your arm, but I'm sure it will take probably 30 seconds or less. So, and we have a form that we filled out, so we're all ready in that sense, and you have your driver's license, and we'll just see how it goes, and we will see you tomorrow.
I hope so. Alive or dead. Okay. We'll be there.
Hi everybody, and welcome back. Today is Monday, so it has been, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's been 3 days since Alan got his vaccine. He got it successfully. I will put some footage into our conversation so you can see what it was like. The bottom line is we had to drive about 30 minutes north of us. We went to a community college where the vaccine clinic was being held, and it was actually the first day that they had held this vaccine clinic at this location. Their previous location got damaged by the rains last week, so they were maybe a little bit disorganized. It wasn't too bad. It was very orderly. There were quite a few people in line when we got there, even though Alan's appointment was at 9. I would say there were maybe 20 people ahead of us, and then eventually there were maybe 20 people behind us. So for each appointment, it appeared as if they were, like, say, at 9 o'clock, they had maybe 50 people signed up, and then 9:30, another 50 people. So it did, there were quite a bit of people there.
Yes. they actually they held it indoors versus previously being held outdoors, as Carrie said, because we've been having some heavy rains. So the indoor facility was the auditorium or performing arts, which was a big open area, almost like a gymnasium at this community college. And they had a large mobile sheriff's department support unit facility there, I guess, because they anticipated some issues as had recently been experienced at Dodger Stadium, where people
in Los Angeles.
Yes, in Los Angeles, demonstrating against getting the vaccination were there. But
and I think just to help with traffic flow too.
Probably, but
Yeah.
in our area, we had, at least this first day in this new location, there were absolutely no issues. Everybody was very pleasant, cooperative. After waiting in line, which I think was because, again, it was the first day, so we got up to the front door, and there was a lady confirming our name and some other information, and then we went through an area where they checked our form just to be sure we had one. And then we progressed on to the area where they had little stalls set up for the vaccinations. And my vaccination was given by a registered nurse who was very professional, very pleasant. Checked the form once again to confirm the information I had given. The vaccination itself actually was just a little bit of a sting. No immediate issues during the 15-minute waiting period, which was very comfortable. They had chairs spaced out in another area on this in this indoor facility.
Because just to confirm, they want you to sit and wait 15 minutes after you get the vaccine just to make sure you don't have any immediate side effects that are life-threatening, such as a severe allergic reaction. And everyone was really quiet, and there was one lady who, because I would say there was a mix of older people, because you had to be 75 or older at this point in late January 2021 to get this vaccine in our county. And then there's also a mix of, there were some firefighters there who, because they're also eligible, any frontline workers such as nurses or doctors. And there was one young lady, she was maybe in her late 20s, and she was in the observation room, and then she raised her hand and she told the person who was kind of observing everyone that she was having a racing heart. So they just gave her some water and were attending to her. And I will also note that even though I was not eligible to get the vaccine, and I have no idea when I'll be eligible at this point, I'm sure it will be several months, I was able to stay with Alan the whole time. And I'm sure, as you see from the footage that I'm showing, we both wore masks the whole time, and Alan also wore a face shield, and I wear some clear glasses to protect my eyes from being exposed to any virus. So that's just a little bit more color to what was going on.
As far as reaction is concerned, the only, I'd say, 2 reactions which were very noticeable was about 2 hours after the vaccination, I developed soreness in my back, lower back, and my assumption is, because we have heard that you get flu-like symptoms, that because I have had back issues in the past, that for me, I noticed it on a very pronounced basis. We couldn't figure out any other reason that I had back discomfort, because although I do exercise vigorously, usually every day, I had not exercised that day, the morning of the vaccination. It was the day before, and if I was going to be uncomfortable from an issue with my back, I would have noticed it late afternoon the day before. So I'm assuming that was a result of the vaccination as part of like flu-like symptoms.
Like maybe there's some inflammation where the body is reacting to a foreign invader, because inflammation is kind of like a natural result of an injury, and it helps bring, like blood cells to the point of injury. So I'm just assuming that maybe Alan has an old back injury, and that his body in response kind of had a heightened sense of inflammation, and that's why his back hurt. I can't really figure out any other reason.
We don't know. And then the second pronounced reaction that I'm sure was tied to the vaccine was that I was very low on energy, took a long nap right after lunch on the day that I had the vaccination, and slept unusually long and well the first night, and actually the second night likewise. So I would have to say the low energy actually is going away, but today is Monday, having had the vaccination on Friday morning, and my energy is still somewhat subdued, but otherwise I feel rather fine. And
you also had a little sore throat.
Yeah, I had a little
just for
sore
a few
throat.
hours on Friday late afternoon.
Yes, and that came and went pretty fast actually. And then also intermittently a little discomfort in my stomach, which has kind of come and gone.
Like a queasy feeling.
Yeah, kind of a queasy feeling, a little indigestion, whatever. And again, I don't think that's related to anything I've eaten. That might be more of the flu-like symptoms that some people have. So that's about it. Otherwise, it's been a fairly easy set of circumstances, and I would have to say it's been really a non-event.
And by the way, Alan got the Pfizer vaccination. We didn't know if it would be the Pfizer or the Moderna, but it was Pfizer. So he should be getting a follow-up email in a few weeks to schedule. With the Pfizer vaccine, you should have the second dose 3 weeks after, although the county has noted that because they are low on supplies, that it could be a little bit after the 3 weeks, which they said is fine, even up to like 6 weeks to get the second dose. But with the first dose, Alan should be developing antibodies, which would give him about 50% extra protection from the virus. And then with the second dose, it should bring him up to 95% protection. This is just based on the studies that have been done on the Pfizer and Moderna vaccinations. And of course, you should always check with your doctor and make sure that you're comfortable with taking the vaccine. And I also wanted to say that one really great benefit that we see about the vaccine is that because Alan will have some antibodies already in his system, so if he does get exposed to the virus, the studies have shown that he should have a less severe case, or people who have the vaccine should have a less severe case and less risk of dying from the virus. And so Alan and I both see that as a huge positive. And somebody left some comment on Instagram, which I deleted, and said, oh, don't get the vaccine, it will kill you. I mean, that kind of thinking, you're welcome to think any way you like. That is not based in science. And also, the risk of getting the virus and dying is a huge percentage higher than the risk of having the vaccine and having a severe adverse effect. So, Alan and I have both determined that having the vaccine is a good idea for us.
Right. And to go back to the follow-up for the second vaccination, that was clearly explained to us by the lady that administered the injection. So we knew exactly what to look for and what to expect as far as the follow-up is concerned.
Yeah. Although, you always wonder, are they actually going to have my email, and are they actually going to follow up, or is it going to fall through the system? But of course, if it does, there's a phone number we can call, although as to whether somebody will answer the phone is a question mark. Right. But we're keeping our fingers crossed, and so far they do seem to be, I would say, fairly organized. Now, it was funny, on the day before Alan's appointment on Friday, I think I got 3 emails, and 2 of the 3 emails had the wrong location, because they did switch the location at the last minute. But, they're trying, and of course they are stressed, they are underfunded, so they're doing their best. And I would say that my only complaint about the entire process, well, 2. First of all, of course, there's not enough vaccines to go around. Secondly, I felt like at this location, it seemed like there were many instances where I was not 6 feet apart from other people, and that did not seem to be very enforced. And that made me uncomfortable because I wasn't getting the vaccine, and I just felt a little uncomfortable after having spent so many months being away from people, that then to go to this clinic where there were hundreds of people and we were in fairly tight spaces, like the room where the vaccines were given, they had little cubicles set up, but it was not an enormously large room, and there were at least 30 to 40 people in that room, and that personally made me uncomfortable.
Right. It's understandable because there are hallways, there are tables where you have to register or check in, and they obviously want to vaccinate as many people. Oh, that's our local train. Hello there, train engineer. We have train tracks right near the house where we do our recording.
It's a freight train.
Yeah, this is, usually we get a passenger train. I'm looking out the window, and this is a freight train that has these hopper cars filled with a lot of, looks like rocks. Anyway, so going back to the injection facility, they try to get as many people vaccinated as possible. So it's a logistical problem, and there are issues and concerns, but again, I think our county is doing a good job. And
we are just really grateful. I mean, we are so grateful that this vaccine was available. It was free. Alan got it in the second week that it was open to his age category. So overall, we are very grateful.
Right. And to go back to the point that Carrie addressed earlier with respect to people who don't want the vaccination, don't believe in the vaccination, or people who do not, worse yet, believe in the virus. When you stop and think about it, I mean, there's a reason that 430-some thousand people, as of today's numbers, are dead, attributed to the virus. And I think that no matter how you look at it, it would be very difficult to somehow misrepresent the cause of death for that many people. So the virus is serious. It's a global issue. It's one that may get worse yet before it gets better. But on a more positive note, I read this morning that there was a study that said that anteaters had almost total immunity to the virus. And further research has indicated that the reason that the anteaters have the immunity is that they're full of antibodies.
Good one. So we hope that you enjoyed this video. We took you along on our day of getting the vaccine. We are pleased to report that it went smoothly and Alan is fine. And contrary to that person on Instagram, the vaccine did not kill him. Thank you very much.
Right. I assure you that if it does, you will not see me here again.
Right. So we do respect everyone's opinion, or no, we respect everyone's right to choose whether or not you get the vaccine. That's fine. This is our experience, and we believe in science, and that is that. And I'm very jealous of Alan's antibodies, but hopefully I'll be getting the vaccine sometime this year.
I've been complimented several times on my antibodies.
Right. We'll put you in the anteater category.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Have a safe week and stay well, and we will see you hopefully soon.
Hugs and kisses.